See you, Jason?
Follow us.
Which way, Marky?
Hey, follow us to a place to eat, okay? Make it right here.
Yeah, to us it didn't feel like an event. You know, we were getting together to make the best possible video.
Collect call from Mark.
It was more sort of just capturing us being who we were, and Mark having the idea to do a video project and then putting it out. Yeah, it was really just friends hanging out, skateboarding, and there was somebody filming it.
Video days we started filming like in 1990 some point, you know, and that was a lot of fun. It was different, you know, it was like we were going to have individual parts. I'd never had that. None of us had. We started filming for it, man. We would just, at the time, Guy and I were spending a lot of time at Mark's house in Huntington Beach, and you know, Huntington High was like a hot spot, so we definitely went there. That was an easy spot to get.
I mean, to tell you the truth, like, I was so young, I barely remember times of going out and, like, battling that trick or, like, thinking of stuff I had to do or, like, wanted to do. It was just basically sessioning and, like, capturing it, like, naturally. I think Mark's always had, like, a real vision of, like, doing stuff that was going to be different. Laying down, like, the groundworks of where skating's gone today, probably more than any of us. I don't know if I would be the same skater I am today without, like, having, you know, a little bit of my lifetime spent with Mark.
Yeah, he's the skateboarder that I looked up to the most, probably. Absolutely. And it's funny because he's only 2 years older than I am, but when you're 21 and you already look up to somebody, and you know they're turning 23. I remember when he turned 23, Guy and all of us, we gave Mark a hard time for it. We genuinely thought he was old. Yeah, I think he just caught on early enough, and like Guy has, you know, a lot of control and very much sort of his own idea of skateboarding. He kind of just did his own thing, and I think that's why we all admired him so much, aside from the fact that he was doing stuff before anyone else. To see a weird-looking guy in a crooked afro, you know, that was the most exciting thing. In so many ways, Guy and Mark were really, really similar in terms of, I'll just do it and see what happens. Because it just seemed like Guy and Mark had that thing that comes from somewhere, I think, different than just practice. Even back then when Guy was young, he was really mature for his age and so much control of his skateboard, and I think a lot of that came from how put together he was, even at such a young age. You know, his board was just about half his size. I mean, those boards were huge, and he could 360 flip on those, and he skated really fast too. In so many ways, even though I was, you know, 6 or 7 years older than him, he had a lot more confidence than I did on skateboard.
You do this, Jason. You think of the crack as like a bump or something.
Yeah, and
Limp, and then you go forward. Booyah! In your face! Damn! Let me see. Okay, hang on, Jason. Wait a minute. Let me see my board. I got that one clean, dude.
Well, let me check out how you got it.
Yeah. Oh, Spike, you should get an angle from up here.
Let's just go.
All right, look at how the way it looked, though. Tell me if you liked it.
How'd you get up there?
You know, one thing I could say about skating with, like, Mark and Jason, I was just so hyped to be skating. I was so obsessed with skating back in the day that I wasn't looking at it like, oh, well, I'm skating with Mark Gonzalez and Jason Lee. But now that I'm older, I look back on it and I'm like, wow, man, I was pretty blessed to have like skated with those guys.
I got that video.
Those were two dudes that I idolized, like when, you know, as I was growing up. But I was so obsessed with skateboarding, man. I just didn't like, you know what I mean? I was just like, I was just happy to be skating.